blessings and welcome to the Path to Freedom. This amazing path where we get to set ourselves free to shine, to glow, to soar, to forever allow for greater and grander expressions of who and what we are, where we get to set ourselves free to be in that ever-expanding love and joy and peace and harmony, where we get to set ourselves free to take full responsibility for ourselves, to free ourselves from being hijacked by the content in our minds, the thoughts, the emotions, the experiences, where we get to set ourselves free from external conditions and circumstances, and a whole lot more. The list just goes on and on and on as to what the perks, the benefits, the fruits that we get to reap and harvest from walking this beautiful path. So I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you're choosing to join me in a moment of expanding our consciousness and raising our vibration. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and the topic for today is about choice. It is about becoming mindful, conscious about the choices that we are making. And it is about taking responsibility for ourselves, for our lives, and for the way our lives unfold. I believe the topic for today is something along the lines of we need to choose it because no one else is going to choose for us. Something along those lines. And this has to do with the fact that in every single moment, we have the ability to make any choice that we wish to make. In every single moment, we are free. I remember earlier this summer, or actually it was last summer, I was out on the deck and I was just sitting there looking out over the fields, and I was watching this bird that was flying across the fields, and it was pretty much flying in a straight line, and all of a sudden it just swerved. It just decided to take off to the right, I believe. In any case, in what seemed like a spur of a moment, the trajectory of this bird's flight changed dramatically. And it reminded me in that moment, and I'm revisiting that topic. It reminded me in that moment that every single moment offers that opportunity, offers that ability for us, that possibility for us to make a new choice, to make a higher choice. But the thing is, and this is why this is relevant for me right now, the thing is that we need to choose it. Unless we choose it, no one else is going to choose it for us. No one else is going to choose for us to begin to move in a different direction. No one else is going to choose for us greater health or a deeper sense of peace or a more profound sense of self-love, or whatever the case may be, abundance. So we need to choose it. And this is coming up as a big topic for me right now, as I'm in the process of sort of scrutinizing my life, scrutinizing the choices that I've made up until this point. And I'm becoming aware that while the choices I have been making have been beautiful, they have been perfect, but as I'm now preparing myself and as I'm now being prepared for the next great and grand version of who and what I am to emerge, some of those choices are not in alignment with this new iteration. Some of those choices do not serve me anymore. And while there is a habit There is a historical habit of making these choices on, over and over and over again. Now the time has come for me to choose something different. One of the intentions that I have for my life is for it to be a simple, peaceful, and quiet life. This is one of my 4 supreme intentions. And the time has now come for me to honor that intention to a higher degree. The time has now come for me to begin to release and let go of some of the choices that I have been making that are not necessarily in alignment with a simple, peaceful, and quiet life. And I was talking to a friend a while ago, and she reminded me, as we were having a beautiful conversation around the topic of choice, of choosing and being conscious of our choices, and how every single one of us, our destinies are not predetermined. We have not been given a particular lot in life that we are destined to endure for the rest of our lives. But change is the only constant in the universe. Spirit, this loving presence, is always seeking for itself to come into the greater and grander expressions of itself in essence through every single one of us, as we are all unique, perfect, whole, complete expressions of it. So this loving presence, it is its deepest desire and highest intent that we continuously break free from who we used to be, that we continuously allow for that old version of who and what we are, the old iteration of our lives, the old expression of our lives to be dissolved, just like not the butterfly, just like the caterpillar crawls its way into the cocoon, goes through the metamorphosis, emerging as a butterfly. Now, the caterpillar does that once. In its lifetime, it does that once, and it is destined to become a particular kind of butterfly. But us humans, having been given the free will, having been given the opportunity and the ability to make any choice in any moment, having been given the opportunity, the gift of independent thinking, which allows us to turn our attention in whichever way we want to turn it in any given moment. We are not, first of all, we are not destined to just go through the metamorphosis once. But we are invited, and we're all called upon to go through it over and over and over and over and over and over again, so that pretty much every single day, who we are, what our lives is about, gets to change. That we get to live in that perpetual state of transformation, forever allowing for transformation, for the transformation of our lives to happen, forever and for the better, so that we continuously get to dissolve, get to release, get to shed who we used to be, and allow for the next iteration of who we are to emerge. And secondly, while the caterpillar is destined to become a particular butterfly, there is no such destiny for us. But we, that is you and me. We get to choose. We get to choose how we want to show up in life. We get to choose how we want to respond to life. We get to choose what it is that we wish for our lives to be about. We get to choose what it is that we wish to experience. We get to choose which direction we want to move in life. In other words, we get to choose if we want to stay stuck here. We get to choose if we want to remain here in this current condition and circumstance, or if we want to move in a different direction. But we need to choose it. Sitting around waiting for someone else to make the choice, sitting around waiting for perhaps the perfect conditions and circumstances for all of our ducks to line up in the beautiful row, for conditions to seemingly be perfect. As long as we're waiting around, sitting around waiting, no one else is going to make that choice for us. So we need to make it. So I need to make these. And some of these choices that I need to make, they're kind of difficult. Because as I'm saying yes to the next iteration of who and what I am and the next upgraded version of my life, saying yes to something means saying no to something else. Inherent in every yes, there is a no. Inherent in every no, there is a yes. So as we up-level our lives and as we move into consciously transforming our lives, it means that some of the choices that we have been making, they gotta go. They need to be released. They need to be let go of. So we need to choose it. And unless we choose, and the beautiful principles of transformation, they are so clear on this. So clear on this. The first principle of transformation states that if we want anything to change in our lives, we need to change. If we want anything to change in our lives, we need to change. We need to begin to make new choices. We need to begin to release and let go of some choices that we have been making. The second principle of transformation states that unless we change, nothing is ever going to change. As long as we stay the same, as long as we remain the same, as long as we keep living our lives the same way that we've been living them for decades perhaps, nothing is going to change in our lives. And the third principle states that the moment we begin to change, the moment we begin to change, everything begins to change. As we are making a new choice, and it doesn't have to be a big one. That's not, there is, to this loving presence, there is no such thing as quantity. There's only quality. So the important thing, the only thing that matters is that we make a new choice, a higher choice. It may be slightly higher. It may be just a slightly tweaked choice, or it may be completely different. But in that moment, we're locking on to a new possibility. We're locking on to a higher possibility for our lives. A possibility that already exists in the infinite mind, so it's already done, it's already happened. And as we lock onto it, we're now allowing it. We're giving it permission to demonstrate, to manifest itself here in this dimension. But we need to choose it. We need to take 100% full, complete responsibility for our lives and for our experiences. Then and only then do we get to move consciously. Then and only then do we get to become conscious participants. That's what I wanted to say. Then and only then do we get to become conscious participants in the unfoldment of our lives, of which every single possibility already exists. So there's no predetermined end destination that we are meant to go and that we're obliged to go to and that we cannot avoid. That's not how spirit works. That's not how God works. That's not how creation works. But the highest possibility is available to us, and the moment we make a new choice, we're locking onto a higher possibility, or a lesser, depending on which kind of choice it is that we're making. In any way, something wonderful is always happening, and everything is always working for our highest good. Even when we're taking a detour, even when we're losing ourselves in egoic structures, in fear and worry and doubt, even then, when we're moving from fear, not in spite of fear, but from fear, even then everything is working for our highest good, because we're still being prepared in a beautiful way. So that one day, in one moment, at one point in time, we will stand ready, we will stand prepared to make that higher choice. So every choice counts, and we have sovereign responsibility, we have sovereign power over every single choice that we make. Nothing, no one outside of ourselves, no other individual, no external condition and circumstance ever has the power to make us make any choice unless we give it power. So the invitation today obviously is for us to be mindful of our choices and to seek to become aware of whether our choices, the choices that we are making on a habitual level and on a spontaneous level, every single choice, to become aware whether this choice that we just made or this choice that we are about to make, whether or not it is in alignment with what we wish to experience. Is it moving us in the direction that we want to go? Is it moving us in the direction of our prayer works, our intentions, our visions, our dreams, our goals? Or is it moving us in a slightly or completely different direction? So that's the invitation, to become aware of the choices that we're making. And a beautiful question to ask always is, this choice that I just made, this choice that I'm about to make, is this in alignment with what I wish to experience? Is this in alignment with how I wish to show up? Is this in alignment with what I wish for my life to be about? If it is, yay, go for it. Let's go, let's do it. If it's not, here's a beautiful opportunity, a beautiful possibility, a beautiful invitation for us to make a new choice, a higher choice that is in alignment. So it is up to us, and it is all up to us to co-create our lives in a way that serves us, in a way that works for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you know of anyone, someone who might benefit from hearing this, please share this with them or invite them into this conversation so that we may expand this beautiful field. Until we meet again, I absolutely bless our days, and I bless our ways, knowing, feeling that right here, right now, all is well, that something wonderful is happening, that everything is working for our highest good, on a personal level, on a collective level. With much love, many blessings. Namaste.